Viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, here with me is Austin Harris, Nick Ballinger. I'm Red Samples, the host. We are Side Picks. This is podcast number 9. Starting us off with the NBA. Halliburton seals game 1, gives the Pacers that 1-0 series lead. We're starting off filming with the fourth quarter, and looks like OKC's up, 12?
Something like that.
Hey.
Yes. No. 19. 19.
Yeah, I was going to say there was up 19.
19.
19, sorry, not loaded on my end. Anyway, what's this series look like now that the Pacers have 1-0, even though, it looks like we may see a 1-1? What's this series look like for y'all?
I think it looks like it just gives them a extra life that I feel like nobody thought that they had going into the series. Because everybody was expecting the Thunder to just roll through and beat the Pacers pretty easily. So for the Pacers to do the same thing they've done all playoffs, come back from being down and steal a game that no one thought they were going to win initially. They could even steal the game tonight. They're not likely, but also the other games that they stole wasn't likely neither.
Hey, speak for yourself. Me and Nick took the Pacers to win the series.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, when you're down by 15 to 20 points in the fourth quarter and people are going ahead and writing you off, they don't think you're going to win the game. So to come back and steal that game like they did in game 1 and they've done all throughout the playoffs, it's impressive. It shows the Pacers have a really good team, but I just don't think they have enough. I think the Thunder's just too good, and they're just going to continue to play defense and do what they do until they suffocate the Pacers.
Yeah, I figured the first game was going to go to OKC, and I figured it was going to look like it has looked. Both games I don't want to say blew them out, but they ran away with it, and the Pacers just happened to come back in that first game. And I kind of figured that's how it would be, but given the longer rest that OKC had, but for Indiana to come back in that first game, it really blew my mind. Tyrese Halliburton clutch, but.
That's the only time they led that entire game.
Yeah,
was
literally
that shot.
0.3 seconds. 0.3 seconds.
And that's I think the fourth time he's made a shot at the end of the game to either win it, tie, or go ahead. The guy's definitely been clutch. And as far as that goes, I agree. Nobody expected Indiana to start off and still won in OKC, especially not the first game.
Right.
So I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. One of the biggest things is that for me personally, if Indiana can find a way to disgruntle Chet Holmgren and try to put everything on SGA's shoulders, yeah, that's exactly what we've seen in Game 1. I think Chet ended up having six or nine.
He had four.
Four total?
He had 4 points in game 1.
Not
Yeah.
6. He had 6.
6? Oh, okay, my bad. I thought
Well,
it was 4.
2 free throws, so it counts as points. So
Yeah. Okay, he had 6. All right.
yeah,
Yeah, so 6 points. And if you can do that to him, every other game, I feel like this is something that Indiana can keep themselves in, because that 1-2 punch with SGA and Chet, man, if you're letting them control the game, both of them, we have seen in every single series, both of them can take the ball to the rack and they can score essentially when they need to score. So you're not going to stop SGA. MVP, the guy, at halftime, game 1, there was 19 turnovers for Indiana, and SGA had just as many shots as the entire Pacers starting 5.
yeah,
And almost outscored them. So you can slow him down, but you're not going to stop him. I think the key to winning this series is stopping Chet, making him not play up to his potential, keeping him off the boards. Don't give him open looks. Give him the pressure and force it on other players, and Indiana not to take so many threes. They're a 3-shooting team, but they're taking threes in bad spots, and they just so happened to get lucky. They made a run at the end of the game and ended up having Hallie take it. So I do still think the Pacers can take it, but it's going to take stopping Chet, because if him and SGA get going, it's going to be very difficult.
yeah. I was going to say, you touched on it, the turnovers. Indiana has to fix the turnover problem. They're having way too many. Both games like turnover every other possession. It seems like.
Dude, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
The Thunder's defense is way too
Yeah,
good. You're
way
going to
too
have to
good.
deal with those turnovers and hope that you can keep yourself in the game because they're picking pockets so clean.
I think at some point, if you're the Pacers, like you play at such a high speed when you go up against the defense is so good. Like they haven't played against the transition defense like the Thunder. You know, most
Yeah.
of the time a team scores a basket, they inbound it, they're already down the court scoring a basket of their own. At some point, you have to slow down and just slow the game down and take advantage of the holes in the defense instead of just trying to beat the defense down the court.
Well, first
You
off,
know?
that you could say that the other way around for OKC. If OKC would have slowed down the fourth quarter of Game 1, they would have
Yeah.
won, no question. They were like Indiana's a fast-paced offense, and if you're trying to play the same way they're playing,
Yeah,
I mean that
playing
style
right
of
into
play
their hands.
is what brought the Pacers back because SGA was making his shots, but all these other people that kept trying to drive in and get these shots, especially Chet, they were missing them, and Indiana was finally feeding the ball inside and capitalizing off of it. And then because they finally worked inside, were able to get a couple of open looks at three and made them all. So, like tonight, if they're up 20 points, it's not totally going to matter, but they need to slow down the pace. Indiana, let them go down. They're going to force shots because they're going to try to get back in the game, slow the game down, keep the tempo slow, run the clock out, and take this game and make it a 1-1 series.
Also, if you go back to Game 1, like we talk about how clutch Halliburton is and how he stole the show. SGA had a chance to ice the game, and he missed the clutch shot that would have won the game. Probably for the Thunder. You know, the Pacers still would have had a chance to come down and hit a three, but like if you're SGA, you're in the NBA Finals, you're the MVP, you got to hit that shot.
Oh, yeah.
You hit that shot, your team probably you could be looking at going up 2-0 right now in the NBA Finals. So as clutch as Halliburton's been, how clutch is SGA? Is SGA, can he be just as clutch as Halliburton? Or is he going to continue to allow Halliburton to steal the show from him when it's a close game?
Yeah, see, I made this point to somebody else. One of the things I would like to see is if it comes down to that again, the last person that's taking that shot's Halliburton. These playoffs, he's built up that confidence. It's essentially like he literally just went to his spot and had a guy that, as everybody said all week long going into the finals, like Lou Dort has absolutely shut down Halliburton. It's like 130 possessions. Halliburton scored like 6 total points against him. And then when the shot mattered the most, all he did was get to his spot, and Dort didn't have a chance. So, I mean,
It's hard to stop a guy that stops on a dime like that.
oh, yeah.
It's just not like a guy running full speed down the court that just stops on a dime. It's really hard to defend.
Anything to add, Nicholas?
No, I never want to say the game's over, but 8 minutes left. They're up right now. They're up 20. So Pacers stealing that first game. Like you said, I had the Pacers winning. I picked them last week to win, but I expected them to go back to Indianapolis down 0-2, and now it's 1-1. But they gotta figure out something. I know you said that's OKC's defense. I'm just like the first game, 24 turnovers. That's six a quarter. They got to fix that. If not, it don't matter if they're playing Indianapolis or where they're playing. Like if you don't fix that, at least drop it down quite a bit.
They did.
It's gonna be tough.
They did second half of game 1 because, like I said, they had 19 at halftime. Like it was looking like it was going to be absolutely atrocious. Like we was going to see one of these games that OKC had against every other team in the playoffs where they won like by 30, and then Indiana just picked it back up. Whenever OKC was going after the ball, they found the open guy and started scoring points.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's definitely a better series kind of than I thought it would be. I really expected this to be more like kind of like it is now. You're going to see several games where OKC is jumping out by a lot, and I especially expected to see that in like the first 2 games. But the fact that the Pacers stole one in OKC, I feel like that's going to give them confidence playing on their home court.
Yeah.
These next 2, so.
And the way the Pacers play, like fast paced, nonstop the whole game, they're never really out of a game because their possession. By the time OKC's going to shoot the ball, it's going to hit the bottom of the net. By the time that their offense gets back down half court, here comes the Pacers with the ball right behind them. Like their offense is so fast paced, they're never really going to be out of the game because their possessions are 3 to 6 seconds at sometimes per possession. They can go down, answer, and then the time. They're not going to be killing time with possession. No matter how much they get down, they're not going to be killing time with possession.
Yeah, that's one of their strengths for sure.
Yeah.
All right, rolling over.
I think.
Go ahead. No, go
Well,
ahead.
I think a lot of it, like Miles Turner's really got to step up for the Pacers to have a chance. You know, he's got to be that keystone piece to kind of swing things for the Pacers because he was pretty rough with the Knicks series. Karl Anthony Towns, you know, dominated him, but if he can go in and dominate Chet Holmgren, he can kind of turn the tide for the Pacers. Because I mean, even though the Pacers won Game 1, let's face it, the Pacers got dominated in Game 1.
Yeah,
and they're getting dominated in Game 2. You got to have that guy that's going to swing the tables for you, and I feel like Miles Turner is that guy because he's been that guy all playoffs until they ran into the Knicks. And they're going to need him here. They're going to need him against the Thunder.
So here's my question. All right, you brought up about the Pacers shooting the threes. They're a 3-point shooting team, right? Like this game right now, they're 11 for 32 at 3-point line. So they're all it's not really fault 34%. If they could pull that up to 40%, 45%, they're possibly winning the game right now, leading the game. But once they go home on a court that they're comfortable with, is that going to jump up enough to make the difference? That percentage.
I feel like being at home, though, not going against the road crowd, though, you take better shots because you don't force the issue as much.
Yeah,
correct.
Because I can look and see what it was at the end of the first game, but
yeah, you also don't have that stuff weighing down you. Like you don't have people on the sidelines hollering at you. You don't have that stuff you're dealing with when you're playing on your home court. So I still like Indiana. Keys to success. Siakam's still got to be your guy that's scoring points. Halliburton, if you're going to win the NBA Finals, he is going to have to score more points. He realized that, which is why he finally started, not really taking over the game, but actually taking more shots at the end of the game in Game 1.
It's also on Halliburton to protect the ball, too.
For sure.
He's the point guard. It's on him to protect each possession so that they don't have those turnover issues.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one of the things OKC's great at. That's why if you turn on your television, the Sports Center, ESPN, whatever, you hear them saying, hey, this OKC team could be ranked in the top 12 greatest teams of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the defense is that good. So
now with the extra day, traveling back to Indiana, they get an extra day because they're not playing until Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Which team is that going to help more? Because the Pacers are used to the fast pace. I mean, Oklahoma City is not slow by no means, but
it's going to help Indiana. Indiana playing on their home court, it's going to help them more. Okay, and plus, this loss that they're taking right now, they're not going to feel it. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
because they stole one.
Because they stole that one. Yeah.
I'm about to say everything's going to be a wash, and it's going to be they're looking at it like a brand new series starting in Indiana on Wednesday. So
a 5-game series.
Yeah, it's essentially a 5-game series now.
And if they can take their 2 at home, all they got to do is take one more, whether that's an OKC or
back on game.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you look at it that way, like now you have a 5-game series, and Indiana would have home court advantage in the 5-game series because you have 3 at Indiana and then 2 at OKC. Yeah. So
correct. So. All right, anyway, rolling over to the MLB.
I got the game put up on the side, so I'll let you know if something.
That's fine. So, I mean, what is it, 22 points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 minutes left.
Yeah. Not too stressed about that. Actually, I say one of the number one overall prospect in the MLB, Roman Anthony. He blasted a home run about 497 feet. It's the longest home run in the majors and the minors this year. And the
Grand
question that
slam.
everybody's wanting to know: when is this guy getting called up?
I don't know why he's not called up yet. Anyways, like you look at the Boston team. You have so many young guys out there, and maybe that's why he's not being called up because they already have so many young guys out there.
Like, where would he
Like,
play with their outfield?
I mean, you gotta put him somewhere. You gotta play him somewhere. He's probably gonna play right field. I mean, that's his position. Is mainly right field. You can't move Jaron Duran. Rafaela can play anywhere, so that's kind of nice to have.
Rafaela,
But
he has multiple positions he can play, right?
yeah, but he's been their center fielder most of the year. But he can play anywhere on the field. But when you have Christian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer, you're pretty much locking down like the shortstop, second.
And he, actually, how long is he out? He's on a 60-day hour. I was gonna say they also got Yoshida.
Oh, I thought they did. They DFA'd Yoshida.
Did they? I just seen
Yeah.
that he was on the 60-day IL. So
Did he? Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. He's
So-
not.
My thing with him, yeah, he's playing really well, right? If you look at his stats over the past,
hits, 288 average.
right, yeah. But if you compare his stats this season with what they've been the past three years in the minors, 2.5, whatever, it's not really. He's right on the same line. Like he's 2.8 right now. He's sitting at a 280 average.
Mhm.
Last year, the whole season, he finished 290. Year before, 272. Like he hasn't really improved. The biggest thing I see with if I look at his stats is his strikeouts. Right now, so far, 56 strikeouts. Last year, 127. Year before, 119. Yeah, he's hitting bombs. 18 last year, 14 the year before. He's already got 10 this year. But that strikeout, I wonder if that's what's holding him back. Is they want him to fine tune his pitch selection, like what he's going to swing at, what to
Plate discipline.
plate discipline. That's it,
Yeah, but see,
to mitigate the strikeouts.
I get that, but you take a look at his own base percentage, and he's sitting at a 400. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he's getting on base over at least one in every 3 at bats. So, like, the strikeouts to me on that front aren't really there because he's getting the walks.
Yeah, but that's like once again, 423 on base percentage, 396 last year, 403. He's right. He hasn't as good as he is. He was as good his first year as he is now. He hasn't really made a big leap. So what you had for first year, you got this year.
Yeah, but you also have to understand he's going up levels too, though.
Correct.
And like essentially what you get out of a player in AAA is essentially what you get out of him in the MLB.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people say AAA is harder than
Yes,
playing
because
in
of
the majors.
because of the age. There's a lot of old pitchers pitching in AAA that just ain't making it because the younger guys coming up in the MLB. So they're veterans, and then they're facing these young guys, so they're taking, that it's harder to hit,
So
For
we're
the
seeing,
MLB, people are taking chances on young guys because they want them to develop into this player that can help them every day.
Yeah.
right. So right now we're looking at him. I mean, this year in AAA, he's got 58 games played. He's got 10 bombs.
Yeah.
So you're talking about right now, like he's on pace to have 30 plus bombs in the MLB, and the Red Sox could definitely use that right now.
I mean, if you can hit a 275 or above in the MLB, you can help any team really in the MLB.
For sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So if he could, I understand like AAA, you look at it, you're like you want it to be a little bit better before they get to the MLB. But a guy that can hit 275 and hit 30 bombs, if he can do that in the MLB like he does in AAA, he can essentially be an everyday player. I mean, easily an everyday
So
player.
let me ask you this. All right, he's at AAA, right?
Mhm.
All right, 10 bombs, 51 walks. He moves up to the MLB. Those walks are going to go down. They're not going to because what is he the best player on the AAA team? Are they
I'm sure he
are
is
they
the best
pitching
player in the minor leagues.
right? Are they pitching around him? So that's why he's getting all the walks. When he
I
moves
mean,
up, they're not. He's not going to get those walks. So are those non-walks that he's getting going to get? Are they going to transition to hits? Are they going to transition to strikeouts?
well,
Well,
that all depends on how he plays when he gets to the MLB.
right.
If he's still playing at that same level where he possibly could be one of the best hitters, with the Red Sox, because he's going to be down in the lineup. You're going to be looking at a Christian Campbell or Rafaela. People ain't scared of Christian Campbell. They're not scared of Rafaela. They're not guys that are just going to hit bombs. So if
Yeah.
he's sitting right in front of those guys, yeah, the odds of him getting walked are pretty high.
Gotcha.
And to that point, there's been a lot of stuff going around where they're saying that the Red Sox are going to entertain moving Jarren Duran by the trade deadline this year, and that could be possibly when we see Roman Anthony get his call to the show if they're able to move him in a deal. Which, me personally, I mean, just based off the way Weiler Abreu's playing, I'd probably look to move him too. But the Red Sox, I've even seen some reports saying that they're going to move Alex Bregman. And even though he's got his significant injury, and he's not going to be back till the All-Star break or whatever, like, he significantly carried this team. Like, he was, while Devers was in his slump, Bregman was the reason why this team was winning games. No doubt about it. So, because Duran wasn't hitting well, Yoshida was decent, and Christian Campbell was off to a good start, but the rest of this team outside of Bregman was not that good.
So hold on Bregman. Why you got it brought up? Would that be a player that we talked about it last week with Paul Skeens, the Pirates? Would the first baseman be what could help them as far as Bregman?
Help the Red Sox?
Well,
No,
Bregman's a third baseman. And
Secondary of middle infield.
oh, okay, I got you.
the
Who's the first baseman? I'm thinking of.
Tristan Cassis, but he's out for a while.
Okay, maybe.
are you talking about Abraham Toro?
Maybe.
Yeah, but he's not a trade piece though.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. As far as this goes, like Alex Bregman, he's going to go to a team like probably Detroit. He turned down a deal with Detroit to go to Boston. If they do trade him, that's probably where he's going to end up. But I really want to say that their main focus is going to be trying to trade Jarren Duran, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But at the same time, like Jarren Duran also isn't a player that has a lot of power. So playing somewhere like Fenway plays to his advantage as a lefty.
Yeah, we got the pesky pole.
Right. So, and on that note,
So what's the top teams? Do you know the top teams that are interested in Jarren Duran?
the top right now is the Cardinals, and from what I've seen on that side, the Red Sox starting point was J.J. Weatherholt and Quinn Matthews.
Oh God.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, heck no. You're not. First off, you're not Quinn
I love
Matthews.
Jarren Duran, but
Yeah.
good God, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's our top two pieces. But hold on, there was another team. Let me check this.
I think what you're talking about the Cardinals while you're looking that up. That's I probably seen the same report
Padres.
or article you seen where they were talking about Weatherholt and Quinn Matthews, and then the article also stated that the Cardinals don't have a bad outfield, but Jordan Walker is holding them back, so Jarren Duran will fit right in, and then they can move Lars from left to right and leave Victor Scott in middle, and that would be the outfield. Move Jarren Duran to left.
Yeah, that's where Jarren Duran's played most of his MLB in. And Lars Nootbaar is as versatile as they come in the outfield. He can play anywhere in the outfield.
So that'd be the question: like, is Jarren Duran, J.J. Weatherholt, worthy of a J.J. Weatherholt and Quinn Matthews?
We don't know because you see these guys that play really well in the minor leagues, and then like a J.J. Weatherholt, does his game transfer over to the MLB? That's the big question you ask yourself.
Yeah.
When it comes to prospect, is how their game may be good in Double A, maybe okay in Triple A, but when it gets to the MLB, is it good enough? Because the game's just different, and the people play to a different style. Will that style play well in the MLB is the question. I don't know. I really like JJ Weatherholt a lot, but we also have Wynn at shortstop. We have Brendan Donovan, who's playing fantastic at second base. So moving JJ Weatherholt wouldn't be a terrible move for the Cardinals. But
Yeah,
Quinn
especially
Matthews is a huge arm that you just really don't want to get rid of.
and as a Cardinals fan, we historically move prospect
Yes.
pitchers that end up turning
Winning
out to
Cy
be
Young.
super studs. So
Yeah.
I'm 100% against that. On this side of the Padres, because they're the other team. The side of this is saying that the Red Sox would be looking to trade Duran, and in the deal they would want mainly Luis Arias because they need that bat at first,
Yeah.
and they would want Ethan Salas, which is a top catching prospect, and Jeremiah Estrada. He's pretty good arm in their
Elite pitcher.
bullpen.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, I don't think the Padres really hurt too much from that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that's a bad deal for the Padres.
Right. And realistically, Arias has not been himself this season either.
No.
Moving to another spot could possibly, pick him back up like he did when he moved to the Padres.
And Ethan Salas has been known as a defensive catcher anyways.
Yeah, like he has the potential, which is why he's clearly a top 30 prospect, and got up to even like top 5 last year. But it's mainly on the defensive side. But his bat and his swing have showed promise to potentially translate power to the big.
But
league.
the Red Sox also they don't really have a whole lot of depth at catcher. Like they need catcher, especially they need like young catchers that they can rely on. Because when Roman Anthony comes up for the Red Sox, and then say they get rid of Duran and Bregman. Look at how young that team is going to be out there.
Right.
Dude. And they add in a young catcher along with that. We may be looking at – I don't know if y'all remember exactly – you remember the Astros back years when they just kept losing and losing. But they brought in a Bregman. They brought in a Jose Altuve. They brought in a Carlos Correa, a George Springer. And when all these guys finally developed, dude, the Astros were the team to beat every year.
Right.
So we could be looking at a Red Sox team that if they make these moves, that they could be that team in a couple of years down the road.
Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker, came up later after they were
Jordan,
really winning. Yeah, Jordan was a big piece of that too.
Yeah, for sure. But as far as the Cardinals go, I'm a hard no. I do like Duran. I do think that we could benefit, but
not for that
yeah,
price.
I don't. And to your point with JJ Weatherholt, like Brandon Donovan's 28, Mason Wynn's 23. We just gave him like $100 million deal, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So like he obviously is our shortstop of the future for now. Donovan can technically play outfield, but wouldn't make much sense with bringing in Duran. So I would much rather keep that arm in Matthews because we've got several promising ones, and Matthews is definitely my favorite so far.
You also can't forget we have Alec Burleson who can also play outfield as well.
Correct. So I'm gonna say no, just because we need a little more contact and power rather than just the contact. And then the Padres, I would actually, as far as that deal goes, I would say yes. I feel like that actually would benefit them more by acquiring Duran, because their biggest problem is that their guys that hit for power, they don't have anybody on base whenever they get up, so it's easy to pitch around them.
So I'm kind of a no on the Cardinals, but I want to win a World Series. So if Jarren Duran's going to be that piece that gets us over the edge, I would say yes.
Yeah,
you play it for the World Series. I don't care if it's now or 5 years later.
Yeah, unfortunately we need pitching if we're gonna make the push for the World Series. That's our biggest need, not a superstar outfielder and our top 2 prospects for it. But Yeah, that's my take on it.
Well, we could essentially move Jordan Walker and bring in a pitcher that would help. Is he going to be a superstar? Probably not, but he could help.
Yeah. NFL. Aaron Rodgers.
Do we even really got to talk about it? We all knew it was happening.
Yeah,
It's not so much of a wow. I never seen this coming. It's like it's about time they finally announced it.
It's not a wow. It is one of those about time conversations. Like
I will say for what he signed for though, I thought that was kind of lowballing Aaron Rodgers.
No,
Aaron
he got more.
Million?
Yeah, he said he would play for 10.
But Aaron Rodgers though, we're talking about a guy that usually made like what did he make in the prime of his career, like 40-50 million a year?
I think if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard it somewhere. He has made more money than any other player in NFL history. If I'm not mistaken, I may have fact checked it, but his contracts, if you add them all up, he's made the most money. I think it's just contracts.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I'll look it up real quick. Give me 1 second.
Because obviously we knew it was going to happen. You could tell by the draft. You could tell by a lot of the things that was happening. And also if you look at it long term, dude, Will Howard can learn a lot from Aaron Rodgers.
You are correct on that statement. $418 million in his NFL career makes him the highest earning player in NFL.
Yeah, I thought I heard that or seen that somewhere. So what is? I mean, like I said,
he's hurting for money.
Right. He said he would play this year for 10 mil, and then for him to sign 13. I mean, they could have got that $3 million to somebody else.
Well, 10 million was guaranteed. 13 million was the contract.
Gotcha.
Hey, surprisingly, Matthew Stafford's second on that list.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised because he was the number 1 overall pick.
It's just surprising because for one, I didn't expect Aaron Rodgers in the 1 spot, and then Matt, like we're saying, Tom Brady's in spot 3. So,
but you know what, Tom Brady could be. Yeah, he took a lot of pay cuts for team based.
He took a pay cut in Tampa Bay just so you could have Gronk come play with him.
I mean, on this list,
and also look at longevity though.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's 4th.
That's surprising. Yeah,
that's surprising
because he didn't play as long as the other ones.
No.
Yeah, $306 million career total earnings.
And you wonder why we ain't got money in salary cap no more.
There you go. Y'all still paying him?
Yeah, plus what's it? Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins. He's 6. Russell Wilson's just above him.
Y'all got 30.
We got 2.
No wonder y'all ain't got no money.
So.
Not to stray too far away from the conversation, because we did touch on the over-unders for the Steelers, and I did say that the line was kind of shown for Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback.
I think what it was 8.5 at the time.
Yeah,
pretty sure. Yeah, because it was right on the.
Can anyone confirm it's still the same?
I can look. Give me 1 second.
I'm gonna say it's the same. I'm gonna say that was based off him signing. I don't think that's gonna make a difference really.
I feel like it would have went up. Honestly, that's just my opinion. I feel like when Aaron Rodgers signed, I feel like that's got to go over.
From what I'm seeing on the site I've been using, it's still the same.
Yeah, it wasn't going to change. I mean, Aaron, like we said, that line was not projected. Mason Rudolph winning that many games, so 100%. So that was an Aaron Rodgers line. I am glad he finally committed. Obviously, this is right after mandatory camp or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think this was the play all along, and everybody knew it, which is why the NFL scheduled that Week 1 game against the Jets. Just little things like that because that's what they do. That's the reason why pretty much every Week 1 game has meaning, essentially. Typically rematches, typically grudge matches, here, there, yonder. I do like Rodgers in that spot. I do think with that team that they can compete. They're not going to win that division because they're going to drop 2 games to the Ravens and they're never going to have a chance. But I do like them to get over 500 or 500.
What I hope to see is a better Aaron Rodgers than we've seen with New York. Obviously, the torn Achilles year one. Year two, he's not as mobile as Aaron Rodgers, obviously because of age and because of injury. But like now we're looking at, that was 2 years ago that the injury happened. I would love to see an Aaron Rodgers kind of play back to the way that he did with Green Bay. With the mobile, throwing on the run, making the most ridiculous throws on the field,
Yeah.
Now, if he can do that, Pittsburgh could be a real Super Bowl contender. If he could play anywhere close to the way he played at the end of his time at Green Bay.
If they can get J.J. Watt on a deal.
TJ or
TJ.
Yeah.
TJ, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's $3 million Aaron could have gave toward him.
Right. Selfish.
Well, he did. That's why he took 10 guaranteed. And the other 3 was like, you know what, just give it to TJ Watt.
Yeah, but I do. I like him in that spot, obviously, as a Rodgers fan. And I do want to see him play better. At least one thing for sure, he'll have more coaching consistency this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he probably have the best coach in the NFL, really.
Not only for Rodgers, but the impact it's going to have on DK. To have a certified top quarterback, yeah, he's older, but I mean, I know DK had Russ Wilson for early in his
Gino
career.
played his best time when DK
Right.
was there, So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Gino, not even the same talk, So,
Right.
yeah, that could be huge for DK.
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to be a guy that's going to give somebody like him chances,
Yeah.
like he wants. You're definitely not going to see any clips of DK coming back to the line, being like, "Why the crap are we throwing to the line when they're lined up there on third down?" He's going to be like, "Hey, cuz, can you catch it?"
You're going
All
to point back at him, hey, I'm going deep.
Hey, fam, I'm the king of Hail Marys. You just go. I'll put it down.
But wouldn't we like Pittsburgh, they need to replace Pickens, though, right? Do they not need to bring in another receiver?
I thought that did they draft one?
Well, I know we talked about previously was like Alan Lazard could be a potential
Oh yeah,
piece
it could
to
be a
move to
potential
Pittsburgh.
sign.
I mean, I think that would be huge to help out Aaron Rodgers.
I'm pretty sure.
I know they drafted a really good running back that can do it all, Caleb Johnson, which Aaron Rodgers signing makes Caleb Johnson even better now.
Yeah.
Let's see, wide receiver Robert Woods, Calvin Austin the third.
Calvin Austin's not a bad receiver.
No,
He's
no George Pickens, is what I was.
Well, he ain't had nobody really throwing the ball either. So
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't see a standout rookie. I thought they drafted one. Maybe it was the running back I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson. But Jaylen Warren is the kind of running back that Rodgers likes. Jaylen Warren's one of those guys that can catch passes out of the backfield. So, and it's going to be nice to see Jaylen Warren in a premier role this year.
And also, Freiermuth the last couple of years has stepped up as one of the top tight ends in the NFL. And, Rodgers loves his tight ends.
Well, I think we talked about it last week, if not the week before. Pretty sure it was last week. The Dolphins tight end. They're talking about. Yeah,
they're talking about moving him to Pittsburgh.
Exactly. Now,
and he's essentially a wide receiver playing tight end.
Right. So then you don't have to really replace Pickens.
You just you go back to the Belichick 2 tight end offense. I mean, that could be a thing that works out for him, really. Because Freiermuth can do it both. He can block really well and receive.
Right.
Jonnu's not. Jonnu's a gamer. He will block, but he's not known for his blocking.
Yeah.
How do you say this dude's last name? Ben Skorokin. Dude played for and this guy played for the Rams.
Skowronek?
Skowronek.
Sounds right, maybe. Yeah, I don't know who that kid is. 6'3". 220. God, he's almost as big as DK, ain't
he? What's the free agent for
6'3",
wide receivers right now?
Amari Cooper's still out there.
Yeah, Amari Cooper.
I thought there was another one. I thought there was another big name wide receiver that was waiting. Is there a way to look?
Yeah, I'm about to right now.
I could have swore there was another one. It's kind of.
I mean, we might as well. Dolphins might as well trade Tyreek. He's headed down the same path as Antonio Brown, anyways. Just send him to Pittsburgh, give him number 84.
Let's see. Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Gabe Davis.
Maybe
Nelson
Keenan
Agholor,
Allen's one I'm thinking.
Keenan
Yeah.
Allen would be that's a perfect fit for Aaron Rodgers.
Tyler Boyd.
Hey, Tyler Boyd's not bad neither though.
What about the one from Mike Thomas? Did he go back to New Orleans or
I think he's retired.
did he retire?
Yeah, I
I
think
think he retired because of concussion.
Okay, I knew something. Okay,
Hold on, wait. Let's see.
the Steelers do have little Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's more their special teams guy, but we've seen special teams guys play a huge role in offenses. Once they fit into the game plan.
OBJ's out there. His ACL still torn.
He's been good. What you mean? He just ain't the same guy.
That's true. Very true.
I love him though.
Anyway,
I wish
yes,
he would step up. Imagine he does sign with Pittsburgh and he goes off. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but we just haven't seen him.
Jamison
Dude,
Crowder's
nice.
out there.
That's a nice possession receiver right there.
That fits the mold for what Rodgers likes.
Yeah, but how old is Jamison Crowder now? He's like got to be older 30s. Probably 35.
For sure. I don't know if he's that old, but he's for sure over 30. I thought I'd see something quick on Michael Thomas, but anyway,
Yeah, I haven't
There's
seen-
options.
I know he got-
definitely options.
He got traded. He got released last year in March, and he didn't play. He didn't play last season. But I ain't seen nothing about him retired.
right.
But
Our over/under this week, we're covering the team total for wins. We're looking at the South divisions. What you got first on there, Nick?
let's start with the AFC. Let's start with the bottom. We'll go Titans 5.5. I like to look at the schedule.
I'm probably gonna take. I don't know. I'm gonna say the under. I think
With Cam Ward.
a rookie quarterback,
Yeah.
a team that has not been good the last couple of years with a rookie quarterback. I'm gonna have to take the under for sure. 5 games. I mean, I think they probably could squeak out 5 wins.
2,
Mm.
3, 4.
I mean,
I'm
you're
gonna
looking at what 5 and 12.
Hear me out. I'm taking the over. Because they got to play the Jags twice. They got to play the Colts twice.
Well, they're
They could split those,
Yeah, and that's 2 out of the. So they need.
or
6 wins.
they could sweep one or the other.
Okay, they start off at Denver.
They ain't beating Denver though.
Okay, and then L.A., Indy, Houston, Arizona.
no.
Yeah, we don't know what we're gonna get out
Right,
of Arizona.
right,
We never
okay.
know.
Okay, Las Vegas,
Yeah, that's probably the worst team in the NFL.
New England, and Drake May.
I don't
Probably
think they can beat New England.
Indy again, Los Angeles, Houston, Seattle, Jacksonville, Cleveland.
I mean, we got to understand though, like the Cleveland quarterback is weird, but the Cleveland team is not bad.
That's in December, so they maybe figured out.
Quarterback situation probably going to be worked out by then. I don't think they can beat Cleveland at that point.
Okay, San Francisco, Kansas City, New Orleans, and then Jacksonville.
Yeah, they could probably beat New Orleans. Probably. I mean, that's a toss up for real.
Just because of who's in their division, I think they can get 6 wins. That might be the least they can get, but I think they can find. I like Cam Ward.
So you're essentially saying that they're winning pretty much every one of their in division games but one.
No,
They split
no,
with the
no,
Jags?
no. They're losing both to the Texans.
And they're probably going to split the Colts and the Jags.
Yeah,
I would.
right.
All right, so that's 2 wins.
Okay, New Orleans 3.
Okay,
Las
Uh-oh.
Vegas. Las
Las
Vegas. is
Vegas.
4.
you're saying potentially Arizona.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially Denver.
I don't know. I think Denver is a big team to watch out for this
Yeah,
year.
I'm about to say Denver's that team this year.
Yeah. New England.
They could potentially beat New England, but they would have to play some really good football.
Yeah.
Maybe by then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in.
I don't like the Titans. I don't like the situation they're in. However, I like Cam Ward. And so I think push comes to shove, he's going to make something happen. Whether they start off 0-4 and then go into Arizona, he may at that point he may be like, all right, coach don't know what the hell he's doing. Let me just play football, which is what he does.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he can find 6 wins. In 17 games, he can find 6 wins.
5.5. I'm taking the under. I'm gonna say they don't get there.
Got what you got, Austin?
Yeah, I'm taking the under. I said that initially. I'm taking the under.
I got you. All right, the Colts.
I don't like Cam Ward, and I don't think Tottenham's very good.
Gotcha. All right, the Colts looking 7.5. Is what I got.
1, 2, 3.
These lines are really good, though. I will say.
But now remember, what's his name got injured last week. I know it's off season, and hopefully he'll be healthy. Richardson.
Yeah.
He stays hurt though.
He stays hurt. Yeah. Hey.
That's the thing you also have to think about with the also going into overs. He does stay hurt, even if he goes into the season healthy. He does.
Who's their? Didn't they get another quarterback? No. Yeah. Giants.
Daniel Jones.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes ain't bad.
Yep.
No, he's proven that when he's outside of New York, he's not that bad.
You said the line's 7.5.
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah.
I'm taking the under.
You looked at their schedule. Schedule don't look good.
Yeah, I'm taking the under.
I'm going.
There's several games. Okay, answer me this: are the Colts beating the Dolphins?
No.
Okay, then
Week
I'm taking.
one.
They're gonna sweep the Jacks. They're gonna sweep the Jaguars.
I don't know. You don't have faith in Jacksonville?
No, I mean, I don't think Jacksonville's that bad of a team. I think if you think about it, though, the Colts actually don't have a bad team. The quarterback situation is just questionable. I mean, they have arguably the best running back in the NFL.
Yeah,
And their defense has.
If he's happy,
you don't
he's
ever know
one
what
of the
you're
best
going to
running
get out of
backs.
defense. When their defense is playing well, but obviously they've played really bad a few times and give up a lot of points as well. So you don't know what you're going to get out of their defense. But I don't know. It's hard to say the over when I don't know if Anthony Richardson's going to be healthy because he's proven he hasn't been. So I'm just going to go based off history. Say Anthony Richardson can't stay healthy and the Colts don't get there. Healthy Anthony Richardson, I think the Colts easily gets.
All right, hold on. Let me gloss over the schedule. Win, 3. 4. Oh yeah, I'm taking under.
Yeah, so we all take the under.
Yeah, that's not a good schedule for them.
I agree.
That is not a good. God, oh. Hold on. Let's go back to Dolphins. They're beating the Dolphins. Week 1, you know it's going to be a memorial for Jim Irsay, and they're playing at home. They're beating the Dolphins.
We're talking about a Dolphins team that starts off hot every year with being healthy.
I think they're going to, because of what they're playing for.
I'd love to say you're right, but I'm gonna say they take the loss.
But even still, with that win, I still only have them at 5, maybe 6 wins.
Yeah.
So to be honest, for the Colts to win, like Jonathan Taylor has to show out every game. It's hard to say that half the year Jonathan Taylor doesn't have good games.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm still going to have to take the under just because Anthony Richardson, the problems with him staying healthy is just the biggest factor to me.
Yeah. I don't know why this keeps flashing like that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm about to have a seizure.
Be all right. At least keep it recording if you do.
Yeah, I won't be able to cut it off.
Good. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Jacksonville,
What's the line?
7.5.
7.5.
Dang.
Let's see. Let's check the schedule out.
I got to ask another question. What's the Texans?
Oh my goodness.
You want to know what their line is before we get to them?
Is
Hey.
it 10.5?
9.5.
Hey, I hate to be the underbug, but give me the under on Jacksonville too. My goodness.
Let's see.
My goodness.
Who's their quarterback? I don't like that dude.
Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence?
I don't like that dude.
I like Trevor Lawrence. I feel like eventually he's going to figure it out.
I have high hopes for that coach, just because everybody picks on him for the Duval. But I have high hopes for the coach. But I really don't like. I don't like the fact. Hear me out.
Most overrated
No, not only
high
that.
prospect of all time.
I get wanting to hype up a prospect. I get that 100%. But when the prospect doesn't turn out to be as good as what you hyped him up to be, don't keep hyping him up. Like, just
No.
okay, well, we were wrong.
You know, instead of saying don't hype him up, how about don't pay him star player money? Because they gave him money on par with like players like Joe Burrow and like he's a top paid, like he's a top 5, top 7 paid quarterback in the NFL. I think that is ridiculous.
No, forget that. Like, I'm literally talking about hyping him up. Like, people that watch football and understand football know he's not a top 5, possibly not even top 10 quarterback in the league right now. But you ask media and stuff, oh, Trevor Lawrence is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He hasn't done nothing since he's been here. Coming out of college, yeah, he was great at Clemson. But he hasn't played to that Clemson level in the NFL.
He's had moments, but he's also had a lot of really bad moments.
Yeah, so you can't sit there and talk to him and like talk about him in the viewpoint, oh man, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah, there's only 32. Top 15 are going to be top quarterbacks, top half anyway. So, I mean, I don't understand that. He's not the only one, but
Is he going to be like the new Kirk Cousins? Everybody looks at him as the average quarterback. Is this quarterback better than Trevor Lawrence? Does that make him a top quarterback?
no, I wouldn't even do that. I don't even think he's good enough to be compared to.
You don't think he's good enough to be the average?
Yeah, I don't.
Because, for years we looked at Kirk Cousins as the average quarterback. Yeah. And you was like, is he better than Kirk Cousins or is he worse? That puts him in the top.
Right.
The top or bottom half.
Yeah, there's other quarterbacks you can use for that. I mean, take away his hair, nobody knows who he is, statistic-wise.
Trevor Lawrence, $55 million a year.
Oh, my God.
He got a 5-year, $275 million contract. 200 of it was guaranteed. And he got 142 up front.
Yeah. They're paying him for Clemson.
He's getting $40 million guaranteed a year.
In my opinion, he's not worth that. He's not that good of a quarterback. He hasn't shown he has potential to be, or had potential. I don't know, as old as he is now, if he can even reach the potential. But he had the potential to be a top quarterback. But he's not in the league of Joe Burrow. He's not in the league of Patrick Mahomes. He's not in the league of Jalen Hurts. Or even Tua. Didn't he come out at the same time as Tua, around the same time? I would pick Tua over him any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And I don't even think Tua is that good.
And let's be honest, that Jaguars team is not really that good.
I'd have to look at their roster. I mean,
they don't have a whole lot of pieces around. Like the 7.5 has got to be them saying that Trevor Lawrence has a good year.
ETN would have to. I like ETN.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian.
Brian. Brian
Love
Thomas Jr. ETN.
Travis Hunter.
He's decent.
Oh well, yeah. We don't know what to expect out of Travis Hunter
though. Let's see, tight end. Yeah.
I just don't think they have enough. You just named off some Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter superstars. Absolutely. Yeah.
Travis Hunter decoy.
My thing is, can their defense keep them in games?
No.
Eric Armstead, Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines Allen.
I do like some of those actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Look at some linebackers.
We're all talking about defensive line, right?
Yeah, that's what, let's look at linebackers. Jalen McLeod, Chad Muma from coming out of Wyoming a couple years ago. Foyze Olakun, I liked him with Atlanta. Yeah, okay, linebackers a little scarce. DBs. Yeah, on the back end, it's not looking.
Defensively, I mean, Trevor Lawrence has to score a lot of points.
Yeah, he has to be the one to win the game. Yeah, I don't see him doing that.
I'm gonna take the under.
Yeah, I don't even want to look at their schedule, and I take the under.
Yeah, under for sure.
All right, Texans. I guess we moved to Texans.
You say 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the over. The Texans team's loaded, really.
There's
I
news.
mean, I know a lot of people put all of it on C.J. Stroud, like, oh, it all come. But that Texans team is absolutely loaded everywhere.
you better look at the schedule before you
I don't
start
have
calling
to
for
look at the
10
schedule.
wins.
I'm
You
definitely
better, you
taking,
better
definitely
look at
taking
the
10 wins.
schedule before you start calling for 10 wins.
Hold on. There's news that come out about 2 hours ago. Let me see. Nick Chubb expecting to sign with Houston on
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah,
So
that'd be a nice 1-2 punch. They're trying to recreate the Lions' offense, get that 1-2 punch to get Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon.
All right, we're gonna look at the schedule. 9.5.
And-
Luigi.
I don't think Tank Dell is going to play this year. Either.
No, for
So
sure not.
they're probably going to have to bring in a wide receiver.
I want to say, didn't they bring in somebody already? Because they
OBJ.
no,
It'd be a good place for OBJ, honestly. See the way C.J. Stroud plays ball with all these misdirection
They brought in
plays.
Christian Kirk, didn't they?
hold
Or
on.
was that last year? No.
What about Diggs? What did Diggs? Or that was last year, wasn't it?
No, they had Diggs last year. He's with New England.
No, that's right. Nico, Tank Dell, Barrios, Higgins, Hutchinson.
Hey, they brought in
Jackson.
Barrios. Barrios
Yeah.
is actually a very underrated wide receiver.
Uh,
What he can do
Christian
underneath.
Kirk, John Mechie, Christian Kirk, yeah.
I'm
Jalen
sorry,
Noel.
looking at this schedule, I'm taking the under. I mean,
What?
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Oh, hey, you said they drafted Noel?
Jalen Noel from Iowa State.
Oh yeah, that's a stud, bro.
Yeah.
That's an absolute stud. I forgot they drafted him. I'm taking the over. I just feel like that Texans team's too good. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. They're going to win 10 games.
Hey, I'm trying to figure out how you're getting the under. If you look at we just said the rest of the conference is going under 7.
I think they sweep their conference.
And that's
they win those 6. Okay.
Okay.
So let's see. All right. So
okay.
6,
Rams.
7, 8, 9. Okay. Rams loss.
Okay, I'll give that to you. If I want to give you the Rams loss, you got to give them the Tampa Bay win. Then
I think they win both of those.
I mean, I think they could too, but I'll give you the Rams loss. Okay,
Okay.
it's at LA week 1. Sure.
LA doesn't score a lot of points.
Yeah, their defense keeps you from scoring a lot of points.
I know. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying like
All
LA
right,
doesn't score a lot.
so we're saying they're 6. They got 6 wins from their division games.
Tampa Bay's gonna be
Alright, so-
7.
All right. Let's see. Ravens,
Okay, loss.
Seahawks,
Yeah.
Win. 8.
49ers,
Hold on, was it 8? Yeah. 49ers. Okay, no.
Broncos,
No.
Bills,
No.
Chiefs.
No.
They could beat the Chiefs.
They're not beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead.
They could beat San Francisco too. I mean, you could also say that could be a win.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Just say no. I mean, I've got your 9 wins right here. Keep going. The next 2 are gonna be the wins. Arizona, Las Vegas. That's
Yeah.
9.
That's 10.
Or 10. I mean, yeah. That's the over.
That's giving them to me.
I'm gonna give them 12 wins. I think they beat San Francisco.
I'm higher on the Cardinals. Like I see them losing the Chargers and the Cardinals. I see them sitting at 9 wins myself.
I'm gonna take them for 12.
But I could also see them beating Seattle. Who's quarterback for Seattle?
It's hard to say that you sweep your division and you don't win 10 games. That's almost unrealistic ever.
Who's the quarterback for Seattle?
Dang, why don't you get that?
It's Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold.
Y'all think they could beat Seattle?
They're gonna beat Seattle.
All right then.
Listen, I hear what you're saying.
Arizona does start off slow. They could win one.
Arizona's a questionable team. Like
I mean, Los Angeles.
Arizona
I'm sorry, Los
Arizona-
Angeles. I'm sorry, Los Angeles. I mean, not
Listen.
Los Angeles.
Listen,
Los Angeles does start off slow, and they
but
don't
I
score a
mean,
lot of
at
points.
the same time, y'all are giving them Seattle. Like, I mean, we're talking Darnold with Cooper Cup, JSN.
Without DK?
Yeah, but you're also taking away the Rams,
Yeah.
and you're taking away San Francisco.
Taking away the Rams.
You
What?
just-
Matthew
you just
Stafford,
said.
Puka, Devontae,
Okay. Well,
Kyron
go
Williams?
Go over the Cardinals roster and Seattle
The-
roster.
the defense?
So, yeah, let's compare those.
I'm just.
I
So
just think-
what you're essentially saying is Seattle and San Francisco have the
I-
roster to compete with the 49ers and the Rams. Their rosters are relatively the same.
First off, what I'm saying is that I'm saying the Texans may win those games against a crappy in division, like they have crappy teams in their division. I'm just saying that when they get outside the division, it's not as clear cut and dry as y'all make it sound like it is. Because
I think it is. I think CJ Stroud's he had a compared to his rookie year, he had a sophomore slump.
Yeah, but wasn't there a report come out that said that he's already having to take a break? Like he's already wore his arm out. There was a report about that.
I have to look. Let me just go to the homepage and see.
He got shut down for like shoulder issues or something.
No,
I mean, you bring in the backup. I still think that team wins 10 games.
Shut.
I seriously do. I'm not even a CJ Stroud
Shoulder
guy.
shoulder
I don't-
soreness.
yeah,
He's not- he's not-
general
like
soreness.
CJ Stroud. I don't even like CJ Stroud, and I think the Texans win 10 games.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking over. Yeah.
I get it. I do also think that unfortunately, you know, man, this is tough, man. This
No,
is
it's not whenever they're in the division with three teams that are going to lose.
Go under 500.
Yeah,
But
not even go under. They're going to win less than 7 games.
I don't think that the Texans sweep their division though. I think that they drop one to Indy or Jacksonville.
I still think they win 10 if they do drop one. I mean, I have them at 12 wins, and that's saying they sweep their division. That's where I have them.
I'm sticking at 9. I'm sticking at 9.
Okay, so you're taking the under. All right.
I'm taking the under.
I got the over. I'm gonna be honest. I wish I'd have wrote these down so we can look back, but I haven't wrote any of them. down.
We got the podcast. Don't
We
worry
got it
about it.
recorded.
Yeah,
Recorded for quality training purposes.
there you go. All right, we move on to the NFC. Or we gonna y'all got something else to add?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Let's move on. We've talked too much about the Texans.
And all South under. You heard it here first.
Not
But-
possible. It's not possible. Take the under. Oh Lord! All right, start off with the Saints. I got 2 lines, 6.5, 5.5. So I don't.
Let's take the lower for them. Let's take 5.5.
Yeah, I'm.
It's also not impossible because it was like 2 or 3 years ago that out of y'all's division, one of the teams was 500
Yeah.
under 5.
Got in the playoffs with a under
8, 9.
500
Correct.
record.
8. I think it was an
Correct.
8-9 record. Or not?
So
Yeah.
so. Anyway,
Tampa Bay.
what's the team we got? Sorry, who's next?
Saints.
Saints. Oh, what's the line? 5.5. We said.
Yeah, we're gonna do 5.5. 'Cause I feel like 6.5 is a little too high for the Saints.
Yeah.
Who's the quarterback? That's
It's probably gonna be Tyler Shogg.
Tyler Shrug. Yeah.
Yeah, give. I'm on the under train, baby. Give me the under.
I'm taking the under as well. I just don't think that Saints team is very good.
Oh, well, I'm a hold on.
If they
I
still had Sean Payton, if Sean Payton was still in New Orleans, I might take the over on this one, but I'm gonna have to take the under. I don't think they got it. They don't got the pieces.
Jake Hayner, Spencer Rattler. You don't think Spencer Rattler can do it?
Spencer Rattler will probably start the year, probably. I don't think he'll be there long. Maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Alvin Kamara, Devin Neal.
Devin Neal's great.
It's under pimp. What's next?
Hold on, I gotta look this.
I'm definitely going under 100.
I want him to go under, but I still don't want to just. I want to give him a fight chance here, right?
I think the Saints have a decent future ahead of them, but like this year they're just they're going under.
Okay, there's 1 win. I hope 2 wins. 3 wins.
You literally can't look at the schedule and say the Saints are going to win anything
4.
because there's not a single team in the NFL that you can look at and say the Saints will
The
beat.
Panthers,
No shot.
Las Vegas.
The Panthers are a lot better than people give them credit for.
6. All right, 6 wins.
That's
all we gotta get to is
I'm just throwing
6.
out suggestions.
Now they could beat Las Vegas.
They don't play Las Vegas. Off their schedule, I can see them beating Seattle.
I could see. I don't think they will, but I could see it happening.
Hold on. I can see them beat the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see them. I don't see it, but I want them to beat Chicago. Okay, whatever. All right, so it's still 2. I can see them beating Carolina. 1 game, Carolina. I know, as high as I'm going to be on Carolina when we get to them next, I can see them splitting it with Carolina. Miami, no. The Jets
Possibly, yeah.
and Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's what, 4?
5. That's 5. And if you split Atlanta, I could see 6 wins.
I don't know. I'm giving the Saints maybe 3. Maybe.
Now, by the time they play the Saints the first time, or the Falcons the first time, Michael Penix is going to be rolling.
Michael Penix is going to – I think he's going to start rolling from the get-go.
Yeah, I'm taking under.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move to the Panthers. 6.5 Panthers. I'm taking the over.
I'm taking the over. I think that was – I mean, I don't think they hit 500. I think we're looking at an 8 and 9 team. They're 1 year away from possibly taking that division.
7.
I give them 1 more year, and Carolina's running that division. But right now, I'm going to say 8 and 9. But I'm going to take the over, though.
2, 3,
What did we say this line was?
4,
6.5.
5.
You say 6.5, Nick?
Yeah, 6.5.
Okay, yeah.
I got them 7 wins.
Yeah, at 6.5, I got the over.
I got 7 wins, so yeah.
I was
That-
thinking.
That's a scary team.
I was thinking you said 7.5. I'm looking at it.
6.5. That's a
I
scary
could see,
team.
I could see the Carolina late in the year crushing some playoff hopes for teams. Who do they got late in the year? Like, give me their last 4 games on the schedule.
Tampa, Seattle, and New Orleans.
Mhm.
Tampa
Exactly.
twice.
See what I'm saying? We got Tampa. Tampa, and then you said Seattle. Like, they could crush some playoff dreams right there. If you're looking at Seattle, they're going to be borderline playoffs. Tampa Bay.
The only reason
borderline
why I'm slightly inclined to agree with you about Tampa is because they have a bye week right before they start that 4-week stretch.
Well, they play them twice. Imagine the Falcons and the Tampa Bay's competing for that top spot in the division. You know, Carolina could knock, the Tampa Bay off right there and give the Falcons that playoff spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they just beat them 1 out of 2, you may be looking at a situation where the Falcons and the Buccaneers got to win out or win the games not against each other.
If it's that close, the Falcons are just going to make the call and get the refs.
It is going to be. It's always that close with Tampa Bay and Atlanta, and Tampa Bay usually wins, but Carolina's could be the factor.
Even though they're in the same division as the Falcons, I think they're going to surprise some folks.
I agree,
I'm going to take the over.
and I think Bryce Young. This is his breakout season.
Yeah.
You won't start him every game in fantasy.
Do I still have him?
I think so.
He's on my. Yeah, I have to take him off my taxi squad. I got to do something with him.
Oh, you don't have a choice. He's got to come off this year.
That's what I said. I got to take him off my taxi squad.
Yeah.
All right, looking at the Falcons, 7-5.
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, my bad.
I was like 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, 7.5, my bad.
He failed practice.
I'm just saying, no, we're going to be 7-5 going to the last, 5 games or whatever.
Oh yeah.
7.5. I'm gonna take the over. I think the Falcons. I think Michael Penix.
Hold on, I haven't looked at. This first time I'm looking at the schedule. So.
Give me the under. Golly, it was
Win.
not nice to y'all.
But the Falcons won some games that they shouldn't have won last year.
Yeah,
too.
the problem is that their
Really good
schedule
football.
starts off so strong.
That's good though.
It is good.
But in a way, it's good.
It's real good unless y'all start 0-7,
We ain't. We can't start 0-7.
1-6.
I think it's good.
At worst, 2-4.
It makes the rest of your schedule feel that much easier.
Yeah.
especially if you can win. If you can go 3-4 in the first 7 games against some tough teams,
And it's not really that tough. Tampa.
Okay, yeah. All right, Austin.
At home.
Hold on,
Tampa at home.
hold on. Austin, Tampa Bay.
At home.
Yeah, I think they can beat Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Okay. Minnesota.
In September, you ain't got to worry about the weather.
He ain't beating Minnesota, bro. I don't care. What you play.
Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can beat Carolina early in the year. Yeah.
Washington.
At home. That's
At
tough.
home, that's gonna be it. I mean, I'm gonna have to say no. I'm gonna have to.
Buffalo.
Yeah, not have them.
San Francisco.
They can beat San Francisco. Where's it at?
At San Francisco. I don't
They
think
can
they
still beat them.
I don't know.
Well, I can't wait till we get to the West, golly.
I don't even. I'm gonna be. I don't think San Francisco goes over 500. You just signed Brock Purdy to a big contract. He played like shit.
Okay, that's the toughest part of our schedule. Now we got Miami.
We didn't beat Miami.
Okay, so that's a win. New England. Okay, that's a win. Indianapolis. Oh, that's a win.
Yeah.
Carolina again.
I'm over. I've taken the over on the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Tampa Bay
Yeah.
probably 7.5 as well. Huh?
No, I'm taking the Falcons over as well. I could do like Red, just say Falcons go undefeated and win the Super Bowl. You know.
No, I never said that. Under.
We're talking about the Falcons, not the Packers, brother.
No,
What's the line we got on Tampa Bay?
All right, Tampa Bay 9.5.
Oh God, I'm taking the under.
Really?
Yeah,
Who you think wins that division?
I think the Falcons win the division.
Really?
I think it literally comes down to a 3-horse race with the Falcons, Panthers, and Buccaneers. I think the Panthers get the better of the Buccaneers, but if the Falcons can beat the Panthers earlier in the year, then the Falcons take that division.
Hold on, think about this. They got 1, 2, 3. All right, 5 of their last 6 games are division games.
That's tough. You
With
don't want that.
with Miami sprinkled in the second to last.
You don't want that.
Yeah, New Orleans at Atlanta, or home versus Atlanta, at Carolina, at Miami, and home versus Carolina. That's crazy. They backloaded their schedule like that.
They did that because how many years in a row has it came down to the Falcons and the Buccaneers fighting, to get that 9 wins and take the playoffs, whatever 8, 9, 10 wins and get in the playoffs.
Then they got Buffalo, Philadelphia, Houston, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Detroit.
Wait a minute, are you naming
No.
off the beginning? Are you naming off the beginning of their schedule?
No, I'm just looking at the toughest teams they got.
Yeah, you named some pretty tough teams.
Yeah.
I love Baker Mayfield.
I'm going.
I am actually a Tampa Bay. Like I like Tampa Bay, but I just think when you look at the division, like it's the Panthers and Falcons here to take that division.
First off, you don't like the Buccaneers. You've vocally
I do like the
said
Buccaneers.
that in the last 15 minutes.
What do you mean I don't like the Buccaneers?
Yeah.
I like the Buccaneers as a fan of them. Not saying that I like them as
Okay.
in like winning games.
I'm going to take 9. I'm going to have to take the under. I don't see 10
Yeah.
wins there. I do not
Under.
see 10 wins.
Under, yeah, I like the under.
And I like the Bucks, even though they're in the same division. I like their team.
Baker Mayfield. Bro.
Yeah.
And it says it itself right there.
Mike
just don't-
Evans.
But
Guy with
That's
all
a
the
tough-
Falcons
that's a
gear in
tough-
the background.
it's just a tough division in general, especially if Carolina can come up. It's not tough as in like all the teams are like really good, but they always scrap. Like they're always really scrappy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if Carolina can come up from where they've been the past few years, I don't see Tampa Bay winning that division. And I definitely don't see them getting 10 wins.
Yeah, I don't see it either. If that line would have been even 9, I might have taken it, but I don't see 10 wins.
Yeah, I don't think so,
All right.
unfortunately.
I think Red went under on 7 out of the 8.
Who's the only one you got over?
Take a
The
guess.
Panthers. The Panthers.
Did you have the Panthers over?
Yeah, that was the only team he took over.
Out of all the divisions? Both divisions, I mean? Wow.
No. Hold on. Was it?
You
I
took
thought-
the under in the whole freaking AFC. South.
What was the Falcons?
7.5. Saints 5.5, Panthers 6.5, Falcons 7.5, Bucks 9.5, Titans 5.5, Colts 7.5.
Well,
Jags
he took the. We
7.5.
already know the AFC South. He took the under on every one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
He only took the Panthers to go over, unless he took the Falcons. I know he took the Saints and the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Just looking at it, I think I got the Falcons under, just off glance. So, yeah, maybe it was the Panthers. Holy crap! What a year! What a year this is! My lord!
Stay
It
out of the
sucks for the South.
Stay out of the casino, bro. There's no way you're hitting these.
Hey, listen. At the end of the day, scared money don't make money, baby.
Neither is dumb money.
Yeah, dumb money's when I ask you who to bet on in MMA.
Hey, there's a reason you picked the same people I did in them fights, all right?
No, I picked all of them the same but one. That's why I'm a champ.
Exactly, except for one.
All right. Speaking of, let's pop over to that recap on 316. We'll hand it off to you, Ballinger. What you got?
All right, let's see. Obviously, UFC 316, you had Merab versus O'Malley. It was a good fight card, pay-per-view. Touch on the prelims. That was the highlight of the night was Yu Ju Sang. Did y'all catch that? 28-second knockout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the highlight of the night. But
Check left hook.
yeah. A couple of decisions, but all right, we'll just touch on the main card. Kevin Holland, Vicente Luque with a Bravo choke in the second round.
Kevin Holland looked really good at 170.
Yeah.
I think he needs to stay there. He said he was,
Right.
but you know how Kevin Holland's been in the years past. Like if he has struggles with weight, he may want to go back up.
All right. Speaking of it, he called out. Mine just went blank.
Shit,
Covington.
mine too.
Covington.
Yeah.
A heavy grappler. If that fight, and Dana White said that.
Kobe Covington is even gonna fight though.
Well, Dana White said that Covington. Forgot what he said. Something about he's got to do something coming up, and then he wants to set up a fight. So, as far as that matchup goes, is a grappling heavy matchup like Covington's not going to stand with Holland.
No.
That's twice Covington got called out in back-to-back.
I don't think Covington wants to stand with anybody anymore because he's not had very much success recently trying.
Yeah. So.
And Kevin Holland just looks really good right now. He has surprised me with how, like, obviously we've seen the ups and the downs of Kevin Holland, but like if he can stay at 170 and stay consistent with this weight class, he can make some noise.
Did you catch it, Red? Or was you babysitting?
Babysitting.
All right, Mario Batista versus Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix coming in on his UFC debut after being champ in Bellator. If somebody that don't know Patchy Mix, that was not a good fight for them to watch of his, because that is not the Patchy Mix we all seen in Bellator.
That's the first time I've ever watched
Yeah.
Patchy Mix. But I will say Batista looked really fast.
Yeah.
Batista looked way too fast for Patchy Mix. He was on his heels the entire fight and didn't know what to do. Not what I was expecting, but I also haven't watched the guy. I was expecting
Shout out Batista.
more of a clinch, grappling out of Patchy Mix, and he just literally got overwhelmed on the feet and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Looked like he didn't know what to do. Say it from a guy watching, not, obviously I wasn't in there. I don't know what he was going through.
And Batista's good. Like, he's really, really good. He really is. The problem I think he's going to find himself in is, I don't know if you remember John Fitch back in George St. Pierre's heyday whenever he was champion. John Fitch, he was a good fighter, great fighter, won a crap load of fights, like went on a streak. They never gave him a title shot because of his fighting style. He got released from the UFC because of his fight, like on a win streak. You don't see that often. And I think Mario Batista is going to find himself in the same situation because he's fighting on points. You can see it in the fights. Yeah,
He's got no power. He's got speed. He's got speed and jab.
He's literally point fighting out there. Yeah, he's winning, I mean, look at the scorecard: 30-27, 30-27, 29-28, which is a generous 29-28. But
Didn't he just beat Jose Aldo?
yeah, and once again, the UFC were talking about the way he fight. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
because there was times he probably could have finished Aldo, but he never went for it.
right, and that's
And Aldo,
that's gonna be
Aldo
his
wanted him to.
that's gonna be his downfall is his aggressiveness. Like, it's not gonna be, oh, is he good? Yeah, he's really good, but is he gonna be chasing finishes? Because you don't want that type of fighting style to be your champ.
Or to be a headliner.
Yeah, you don't. So
can't headline with
he's
that.
got to figure something out. He's ranked, I want to say 10 or top 10. He's in the top 10 or right there at 10.
I think he was 12 or 13.
Okay, and like there's a reason they're
He's
not.
probably top 10 now, though.
Yeah, and there's a reason he's fighting a guy making his UFC debut. And it's not because they're not sure if he's good. No, they know he's good. They're just not happy with his fighting style.
I think the UFC wanted Patchy Mix to win that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And like, after you get done here, go look up Patchy Mix highlights on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. Dude is actually really good. That was just not the Patchy Mix we've all seen. All right. Anything on that one, Red? Or are we still
No.
babysitting?
I about to say, Patchy Mix. That's the one that Austin said that he could beat, right?
I don't know.
Never.
Beat.
Yeah, I seen it. I liked what I seen out of Batista. Obviously don't watch much, so I didn't really know what to expect out of Patchy, but yeah, I liked what I seen out of Batista.
Yeah.
So
I'm serious. Go look up Patchy Mix highlights. Like, in the names he has beat. Like, he's not a slouch. It blew my mind when I watched the way he fought that. All right, next up we got Joe Pyfer, Kelvin Gastelum. If you ain't ever seen Joe Pyfer, now you see why they said, hey, be Joe Pyfer, be Joe Pyfer. It's either knock out or get tired, because he was throwing bombs in that first. Knocked him down 3 times. He knocked him down 3 times in the first. Like, he was literally trying to knock him out. Like, if he wasn't going to knock him out.
Well, Kevin Gaston was tough.
Yeah.
So if you could knock him out, that says a lot. Really.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he was trying to do. Like, he was not trying to take it slow. He was literally looking for one punch. He wasn't even setting it up.
yeah.
It was just one punch, sit back, one punch, sit back. And it eventually hurt him, but he went to the decision 29-28, 29-27, 30-27. Me personally, I had it 30-26 because of 10-8 round.
You think the first round was 10-8?
Yeah, it literally knocked him down 3 times.
I missed.
Yeah.
That was the fight
Yeah.
I missed.
Yeah, I mean, he dominated the first round, but the problem, like you said, Kevin Gastelum was tough. Kevin Gastelum fought his way back. I actually don't disagree with the 29-27 because Kevin Gastelum, you could have gave him that third. So, but somebody without,
I personally thought Kevin Gaston was going to win by decision.
yeah, it was
Just because.
with the size difference. If you didn't watch it, the size difference was massive. Was
Well,
massive.
what's Kevin Gaston? What, like 5'6", 5'7"?
I want to say 5'9", 5'10".
Right, he looks shorter against most of his opponents.
Yeah.
He looks shorter than that.
I can look. Hold on. But like you could tell, he's 5'9", and Joe Piper's 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, okay. So
6'1".
there's a pretty big difference there.
The difference was, all right, so he was 5 inch taller, but only had a 3 inch reach advantage,
Yeah.
which was crazy. But yeah, the fight really wasn't close. Piper really tired himself out toward the end because he was trying to lay bombs in the first.
Which would have been huge for his career to knock out Kevin Gastelum in the first round. That's not something that I don't think Kevin Gastelum's ever been knocked out in the first round.
I don't think he's been knocked out.
Yeah, so I mean that would have been huge going forward for his.
I'm pretty
UFC
sure.
Career.
Yeah, he has 0 knockouts. He's been submitted 3 times, decision 7 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been massive.
Yeah, and I mean it's still, like I said, he knocked him down 3 times in the first.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, first championship fight, co-main event: Kayla Harrison, Juliana Pena.
I mean, they went as expected.
Yeah, that was pure domination.
Dude, did you see the look on Pena's face though? Whenever Harrison grabbed a hold of her arm, you could see that she was like, "Oh God, she's about to break my arm."
The fact that she tapped out. Go ahead.
Yeah, with that's what I was about to say. The same thing. The fact that she tapped out when you heard the 10-second
Yep,
clapper,
yep.
and then that she was within that 5-second time when she tapped out.
Yeah.
That she was about to break her arm. Bro.
I actually thought she did because, like, from the camera angle that I was watching from, like, you can see Kayla. You're on top of Kayla's back, right? And then
Yeah,
when the referee separate, you can't see the torque because we're behind her. But whenever that referee separates, when she stands up, her arm is sent back, just resting there.
yeah.
I thought originally she broke it, but I guess she got
Well,
her to.
I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that her rotator cuff was literally torn to pieces.
Yeah.
I do like that y'all did call the Nunez call out, although you could tell that they know each other pretty well, and she called her in there
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, so
And that that's the biggest headline we've had since Amanda Nunez and Cyborg. I think we said that last time
Yeah.
for a woman's fight. So they'll probably headline a pay-per-view themselves,
Yeah.
which typically doesn't happen. Women fighters typically don't headline pay-per-views.
I imagine they'll have I don't know. They'll have to have. Nowadays in time, you have to have another championship under them.
Yeah.
So that means they're 135. So you'd have to have another girl title fight.
I mean,
Well,
technically, you could just have Merab fight somebody else.
Yeah, but he's a heavier weight. They do the heavier as of the main event. But hear me out. 135 Harrison versus Nunez. 125 Shevchenko versus Wei Zhang Wei Li.
Yeah, it's about time for that fight.
Yeah, that could be it. You heard it here first. Champion versus champion as the co-main event. That'd be a good fight, a good card anyway.
Yeah.
But Kayla Harrison just ragdolled her.
So what is it? Wei Li, she's a champion for what weight class?
115.
115. Okay. I mean, I knew she was the under, but
What'd you say?
I can't remember. I can't
Wei
remember
Li?
exact weight. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I think she's 115. Shevchenko's 125, and
then Harrison's 135.
yeah.
So at one time, a Nunez had 125 and 135.
35 and 45.
That's what I thought, but they don't
yeah.
have 45.
Nah, they done away with it.
Okay,
They-
that's where I was confused. I was like, ain't no
Yeah.
way, man. Nunez
They made that.
was fighting-
They made
ain't no way
that
she was
for
fighting at 125, bro.
right. They made that for Cyborg, just so they can give Cyborg the title and then have Cyborg and Amanda
But it
fight
didn't.
champion versus champion.
Didn't happen.
I mean, it did. It did.
But she never won the belt. Cyborg never
Yeah.
won the belt.
Yeah. Remember? If you remember, that I forgot her name. She lost to Amanda, moved up. Her and Holly Holm fought for the belt. Maybe the fight you were talking about betting on. That may be. She beat Holly Holm.
who was that?
Starts with a G.
I don't know.
I'd have to look. Give me. It won't take me a second to look. Jermaine Durandamy.
Yeah.
And then after the night she won the title, they asked her about fighting Cyborg, and she said she will not fight Cyborg because Cyborg's past drug history, steroids, and so she won the title, turned around and vacated the title, went back to 35. So yeah, so Cyborg ended up winning it, and then Kayla and Cyborg fought, and Kayla knocked her out, and that's how she became two division champ.
For Nunez.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. So that's the next fight. Obviously, I mean, how do you see that one going early?
I mean, I think Amanda Nunez, she's going to have to throw hands right off the rip.
Yeah.
You can't let Kayla Harrison get in and get her hands on you because once she does, it's only a matter of time. Because you see how her ground and pound, and she's not even really like a huge submissionist, like a submission specialist. So to get that in that situation, I didn't think she was going to go for it. I think she had her in like a terrible arm triangle choke.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went to the Kimura because, I mean, obviously her elbow was out there. If she wasn't so close to the octagon, it probably would have happened before to the cage. Probably would have happened before that. I think Amanda Nunez has got to come out throwing hands. You can't let Kayla Harrison get her hands on you because if she gets on top and the ground and pound, Nunez is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But on the feet, Nunez will dominate her.
You think so?
Absolutely. She will absolutely. She's going to have to come out throwing like she did against Cyborg.
Cyborg, yeah.
She's going to have to.
You have any thoughts on the matchup?
Does that, she can have a lot of success. But I mean, if you're Kayla Harrison, I think you go straight for the spear and just get it over with.
Yeah. Come out in a wrestling singlet.
Come out, just don't pull a Ben Askren. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And take a knee to
hey.
the forehead.
Speaking of Ben Askren, T's and P's. He's in the hospital. He's in the
I've seen
hospital. But
Yeah, that was pneumonia.
yeah.
It's tough.
What's your thoughts on that, Ray? Do you have any?
Yeah, give me Harrison.
Yeah.
With Nunez Harrison.
All right. Here, I want to give you the backstory. Let me ask you a question. All right, put yourself in their shoes. Say you're training at a place, Red. You're training there for your whole career. Austin comes in. He starts training there. Y'all know how the training sessions are going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's say you're winning the training against each other. You know, the sparring and all that. You're dominating him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know you two are going to fight. Are you leaving the gym, or since you're dominating, are you telling him to leave?
You know what? I may just leave for psychological reasons.
And let him have your coaches? You gonna go find new coaches and everything?
The coach? Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's tough.
So are you staying at the gym with your coaches, or are you gonna go find new coaches, your own gym, and everything? If you're dominating the training,
do we have the same coaches?
yes, same coaches, everything.
Oh, free.
So that's the storyline you have here. They were both training there. Kayla Harrison been there her whole career. She was the champion. Or Nunez. Kayla Harrison comes in. She fights in another organization, so the matchup's never going to happen at this point.
Right.
She starts winning. She gets a title in another organization, and then she starts making noise. Hey, I want to come fight the best. I want to come fight the best. We all know who the best is, so we know who she's talking about.
Right.
Then all of a sudden,
She says it in the middle. She said, "I'm coming for what she has, and now I have what she wants."
exactly. And so Amanda Nunez then turns around, leaves the gym, leaves the coaches and everything, goes and finds her own gym. So does that mean she was dominating the training, or was she getting whooped and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to go do my own thing. We know how this is gonna go."
I don't know. Like I said initially,
So Kayla Harrison left.
No, Nunez did.
I do in part feel like I guess it depends, cause I'm not exactly savvy on how the coaching aspect of this works, but I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to for someone of her stature to find new coaches and find good coaches. So,
But you're the world champion with the coaches you got.
Personally, I think the coaches favored Kayla Harrison more, which rubbed Amanda Nunez the wrong way.
Is that because she was getting the better? They knew who was better?
No, I think that was because they seen that Kayla Harrison had more potential.
Because this ain't the first time. I know you watched it back in the day. I don't know how much you watched it, Rick.
Masvidal and Covington went through the same.
No, not even then. John Jones, Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
Remember, Rashad was supposed to fight for the title, got injured. They gave the title shot to John Jones. He got the title. That matched up John Jones and Rashad Evans. The coaches took John Jones' side. Hindsight, best decision they probably could have made. Rashad Evans left the gym, went and created the Black Zillions down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so this ain't the first time we've seen this. And it was the right decision that time. At that point for the coaches, hey, we're sticking behind John Jones. Hindsight was the best decision they probably ever made. However,
what's the age difference?
Nunez and Harrison?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Nunez.
Yeah, Nunez and Harrison.
Harrison, 34.
Nunez like 38.
Hold on, hear me out. 34, but she's only been in MMA since 2018, so 7 years.
Okay.
And Nunez.
I want to say she's like 36, maybe.
I don't even think she's that old, is she? 1 second. There's that one right here. 37.
37.
and she's been in MMA since 2008, but she's been out since
2 years.
a little bit. Was it 2 years? I thought it was about 3, but maybe 2.
Might have been 3.
No, it's 2. 2023 June. So
Exactly.
Tuesday will be 2 years.
Yeah.
So, but their next fight will be down the road, so over 2 years.
Yeah, they'll probably fight in November, maybe. That's maybe a little early. Maybe in November.
What's June, July, August, September, October? Yeah, October, November.
They probably fight in November, I would say.
Yeah.
If not, they'll probably fight on the first card of January.
I don't think they'll wait that long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think November would be nice.
Because
This is Amanda Nunez's last fight. Let's be honest. If she goes in and she wins the fight, I think she's done.
yeah,
If she loses, it's questionable.
But
whether she's done or not.
somebody made a point. They made a point to Dana about, you know how Dana White don't like when George St. Pierre come back.
Yeah.
The agreement was he could fight for the title if he come back, but he couldn't just win the title and leave. He come back, beat Bisping.
Had to give him a rematch.
Well, he didn't. He left. He beat
Yeah.
Bisping, won the title, and left.
Yeah, but GSP does what he wants.
Right. Dana White didn't like that. So they asked Dana about that, and he said, no, we've talked to Amanda. She's going to come back, and she's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, that's not true. I don't see it. Why would she? If she beats Kayla Harrison, obviously if it's in the contract to defend, she has to defend. I mean, she doesn't have to, but it would be likely that she would.
Yeah.
But if she beats Kayla Harrison with no stipulations to the contract that she has to defend it and give Kayla Harrison a rematch, no matter what Kayla Harrison does the rest of her career, Amanda Nunez is the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think the pressure is really on Kayla Harrison.
Yeah.
Like, this is your opportunity to submit your legacy. That's what she talked about the entire time while her and Amanda Nunez were in there.
Right.
She has to win this fight. Because if she does it, I don't think she gets another chance to fight Amanda Nunez.
But even for Kayla, what's next for her after? Okay, so the only person she hasn't fought would be Cyborg at this point.
I think if she wins, I think she has to wait a while.
For what?
For the next upcomer, the next number one contender.
But she's what do we say, 34?
Yeah. But, I mean, that's just the name of the game. You know how it goes when you win the title. We've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
They get the title, they fight once a year. And leading up, they fight 2 to 3 times a year.
Let's see, she's July, so she's fixing to be 35 in next month. So as they're fighting, she's 35. I'd have to look at the bantamweight division. Who do we have? Because she hasn't really fought a lot of the girls in there. This is only her third fight, so there's still a bunch of matchups available for her.
Well, didn't Shevchenko move up at one point? Would she move up again?
Oh, not for that. Surely not. That's size difference.
I know. But Shevchenko has the hands to compete. She just
not for that type of fight. Now, she did fight Amanda.
Yeah.
At that weight class, but that's a style that she probably wouldn't do. She wouldn't be too bad going up for. She would not want to go up for that weighted disadvantage against Kayla. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you heard it. Kayla's barely making 135.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, I don't know. I had to look at the division. Like I said, she's only had this. That was her third fight in the UFC, and she won the title. So there's a bunch of matchups that she got to skip over.
Yeah,
that's a good thing about it. Bad thing is, she's won the title 3 fights in. So what are these other girls going to be able to do?
Yeah. So is there a true number one contender? That's why I say she would have to wait for them to work out who's the number one contender. I don't know.
My biggest question is, I know whenever a Cyborg left the UFC, it was on bad terms. Could Kayla be a big enough star
to bring back 145?
Well, not even to bring it back, to convince the UFC to bring Cyborg back just for a one fight.
They would have to fight at 145.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Kayla Harrison would love to fight at 145.
She used to fight at 145.
That's what I'm saying now. That she's having so much trouble getting that 135. I think a 145 to her sounds good, and especially Cyborg, because like if Kayla Harrison beats Amanda Nunes, like that's the next big woman's fight would be Cyborg and Kayla Harrison.
So, any thoughts on that, Red? Y'all good?
Yep.
All right, main event: Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Merab's a machine for a reason. He's obviously very, very hard to beat. Like that style is just hard to beat.
Yeah.
But I just don't know what Sean O'Malley's game plan was, man. Like you can't stay on your heels with a guy like Merab. You have to attack eventually. We just never seen that out of Sean O'Malley, and he just allowed Merab to do whatever he wanted to.
It's crazy to me that he changed his lifestyle and did all this, and didn't even last as long as he did the first go round, and he was.
Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah.
I was like,
But he did. But he done a lot more in the first fight. Than he
I
did in
mean,
the second fight. He didn't do anything.
I get it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, the main thing was like he was battling injury, blah blah blah. Didn't want to be the guy to back out, rada rada, and then like made this whole lifestyle change, dedicated himself back to, you know, all this stuff that we covered last week, and then didn't last near as long. Like it just, to me, it was a bad look. It looked like there's absolutely no chance for him where he's at.
But you say that, but Merab right now is more dominant than he's ever been in his entire career. To do what he did to Umar Nurmagomedov, Umar, right?
Yeah,
Umar. That was absolutely insane in itself. So, like, we knew going into this fight, O'Malley was going to have to get lucky. He was going to have to catch him with something when he came in. That was the only way O'Malley was going to win this fight.
Right.
Merab right now, maybe the greatest in his division that we've ever seen. There's been some really good ones.
Yeah.
He's just a whole different animal right now. Merab is way better fighter than he was the first time he fought O'Malley.
Yeah.
I was
Way
just
better.
saying, good call on the O'Malley taking the dub.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Of course, I don't care who I think is going to win the fight. I'm always going to take who I want to win the fight.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, no, I'm just aggravated. It was just
Oh,
funny.
I will always
Just-
take who I want to win the fight because I will refuse to root for somebody I don't want to win the fight.
Yeah, like I said, I just went back and watched their first, and then before I, this come around and watched this one, I was just like, man, like all that lifestyle change and didn't make a difference. Period. Like it's kind of, I don't know.
But like,
weird.
I know O'Malley gets a lot of criticism, as he should because he wasn't as active. But like, people you can't take away from like the guy he's fighting against. I was just insane. Yeah. That was just an insane performance. And when he picked O'Malley up, and that's when I realized, like, oh god, this dude is unreal right now. Because like every time, like he even did in the first fight, every time O'Malley would get back to his feet, he would just trip his feet out from under him. That's just what he does. And he's just always on the attack. And then to see Merab was winning the stand-up.
Yeah.
That was what blew my mind the most, was he was winning the stand-up with O'Malley. And I would have never expected that to happen.
Just moving forward the whole time.
And I felt like the second round? O'Malley came out looking a little bit better in the second round, but then he just started to fade.
Yeah. I wonder, you asked earlier what could his game plan have been, just on the back foot the whole time? It makes me wonder. Yeah, he's been out for I think a year because he had the fight, then he had surgery. So I want to say a year or right at a year. So I wonder if his game plan was, hey, let's get through these first 2 rounds, and then don't want to drain the gas tank too early because of what would happen. Obviously, it happened at the third because like you could see it when Rob got him down in the third. O'Malley was breathing heavy. I don't know. It didn't look like he was out of breath, but he was breathing heavy. I don't know if he was trying to. I don't know. Just
I think he was demoralized.
yeah, because like he wasn't just huffing and puffing. He was literally taking deep breath and then deep out, deep in, deep out. Literally do it like almost like he was doing it intentional to not get tired. It was just a bad look altogether. And I mean, like you said, Marab is on a different level.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a like these other champions that can beat you up and hurt you. Because let's be honest, it don't look like he's hurting anybody. He's just
Yeah.
dominating them.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like a big brother, little brother situation. Like, yeah, we know who's better, so I'm just going to pick on you. That's literally what it looks like in his fights.
And the fact that he was so active and he just jumped over the cage and was talking to Trump, like he was still full of energy. He wasn't even breathing hard. That just goes to show you, dude can do that.
Because like you can look at Sean O'Malley after the fight, and you probably go see him today and be like, "Yo, I thought you had a fight yesterday." No bruise.
He had a black eye.
Yeah. So it's like I'd probably almost rather get knocked out. Like that first fight we talked about, 28 seconds. I think I'd rather just lose in 28 seconds, go home, than sit here and get dominated by somebody.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah, because what's next for you?
Yeah, I mean the only thing that's next for O'Malley, in my opinion, that's what I was gonna. I think it's Peter Yan. Like a lot of people thought
A rematch. Yeah.
A lot of people thought he lost the Peter Yan fight. I feel like once you've lost the title and then you lose your opportunity to get the title back in a rematch, like now you have to avenge yourself, because a lot of people thought he lost the Peter Yan fight, and Peter Yan's the number one. He's the number one contender right now.
No, I know.
Well, he was.
I'm talking. Well, I get the ranking part of it, but he's probably not going to be the one fighting for the title.
Yeah. So, he's number one in that division outside of champion. So I think O'Malley has to prove that he can actually beat Peter Yan.
Yeah. I'm gonna look
because there was people saying that O'Malley didn't even deserve the title fight.
You know what? You know what I would do? I think the best fight for him, Mario Batista.
Yeah.
UFC. It's obvious UFC's not happy with Mario.
He's gonna. I mean, that would be a good victory for him if he. I mean, obviously if he win the fight, but like he needs that. He don't need to go up against another grappler because it looks bad.
Yeah. Be like, all right. Here's the top 10. I've got it pulled up now. I got O'Malley number 1, which does he stay? He don't stay at number 1.
No.
All right. Peter Yan at 2, Umar 3, Corey Sandhagen at 4, Song Yadong.
They were saying Sandhagen and Merab would be the next fight, which is Sandhagen's known for his flying knees. So, I mean, all right, keep going.
Song Yadong, Davison Figueiredo. I think he just lost to Corey, so both of them coming off a loss.
Yeah. Oh, that would be an entertaining fight.
Marlon Archido. That's
they're
1-1. Marlon would need to get some wins. He'd have to get some wins.
I don't. After he dominated Chito Vera the way he did, I just don't think you can make that fight right now.
Rob Font, Henry Cejudo, and then Mario Batista. I honestly think that Batista fight would be a fight to make.
What about Rob Font? What's his last? Like he was on a heater there for a minute. What happened? Did he lose his last fight? Did he fight Umar?
No, remember he. I don't think they counted it against him. Remember, he took that fight on a day's notice against.
Because Rob Font and O'Malley would be fun to watch.
What's the Diego Lopez? Wasn't Rob Font the one that took that on a day's notice?
No, that was that wasn't Rob Font. That was
Who was it?
Oh my God! You're gonna tell me I'm so stupid, bro.
Yeah, okay. I got Rob Font pulled up. Yeah, he's on a 2-fight win streak. He lost to Corey and Davison, and then he beat Kyler Phillips and Gene Matsumoto. Are these rankings even accurate? They got to be, right?
Because Kyler Phillips should be in the top 15.
12.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think that Mario Batista wouldn't be a bad fight.
No.
Because, like I said, if the UFC's not happy with the way he's fighting, Sean O'Malley ain't gonna let him fight like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, O'Malley's going to bring the fight to you. I mean, obviously against a guy like we've seen the title fight, like he can't bring the fight to a grappler because you're going to end up on your back every time.
Yeah. Dan Ige.
Danny, yeah, God. I was like, fuck. I knew I was going to feel stupid when I said
Yeah. All right, but now as far as Merab, I mean, they said it's got to be Corey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way he's dominating, does it really matter who goes in there? Like you're gonna be hoping that you can pull off some miraculous knockout. That's the only way to beat Merab.
Let me look at Corey. He's lost. He beat Davis and Figueiredo. Then he lost to Umar before then.
Yeah, that's why Umar got the title fight instead of Sandhagen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about Peter Yan?
I just don't see who in. If Umar can't beat Merab, I just don't know who in that division can.
It's got to be It's got to be somebody that can knock him out.
But Peter Yan though is like I don't want. That's not a name I want to forget about. Like Peter Yan at one point was the guy to beat in that division.
He hasn't fought in almost a year.
I know.
And he beat Figueiredo. And before then it was Song Yadong. I wonder why.
Song Yadong's the guy to look out for in that division too.
Oh, he's scheduled to fight. In July. Peter Yan is. So if
Who's he fighting?
Marcus McGee, wow, he's fighting way down. Marcus McGee is ranked 13th. Peter Yan's ranked number 2.
And that's how losing that fight to O'Malley at that point was what gave O'Malley the title fight. Because Peter Yan was number 1, and O'Malley was what at the time, number 11 or something maybe.
Wow, that's crazy. They're number 2. I guess he just wanted to fight.
I don't think the UFC likes Peter Yan though.
I don't know. Hold on, let me click on that card and see. Oh, I was wondering if if it was scheduled for somebody else and then somebody pulled out and then Marcus was like, "Yeah, I'll jump in."
Because if Merab beats Sandhagen and Peter Yan beats McGee, then it's got to be Yan and Merab.
He'd have to have a spectacular finish, like performance, not finish, but a performance. Especially since,
I mean, if you look, it's next in line. You had O'Malley, Yan, Umar,
yeah,
and, Sandhagen.
but you know how the UFC works. The champion called out Corey.
Yeah, but that was also they probably knew that was what was going to happen next anyway.
Yeah,
because he already. Well, see, Umar beat Sandhagen, but then Merab beat. He beat Umar, which Sandhagen and Umar was fighting for the number one contender.
Well, Merab's already beat Peter Yan.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he hasn't fought Corey, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait. Hold on, I'm on the wrong.
He's already beat Peter Yan.
Yeah.
And he's beat Cejudo.
Has he beat Corey? I wonder if that's why they do. He hasn't fought Corey. That's probably why they would be more likely to do this.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize that him and Peter Yan had fought. They must have fought like way back.
It was 2023. Hold on, I'll pull it back up. Yeah, March 2023.
Okay.
Merab won by decision, obviously, but it was right after he lost to O'Malley and then lost to Merab.
Okay.
And he lost to Aljamain before O'Malley. He had 3 losses right there. And it was O'Malley, Aljamain, and Merab.
He was like 14-0 at that point, or something like that. Pretty close to 14, something like that.
His first Aljamain, he was 15-1. And then went to 15-2, and then he beat Corey, 16-2. And went from 16-2 to 16-5 in a stretch of 3 fights.
Golly.
But now he's on a 2-fight win streak since, so he's 18-5. I think that's probably why they'd be more likely to skip over him and go to Corey. But all right, we'll go ahead and move on to next week's card. We'll just try to rush over it real quick. Getting a little long here. My bad.
A little bit.
Yeah, we got Joaquin Buckley versus Kamara Usman.
Oh, that's a good fight.
Yeah, but the card itself, like last week's card, it didn't have really a lot of big names. This card is one of those ones where name value, it's massive. But like where these names are at in their career now, you could
Yeah,
argue.
especially Usman.
Yeah, so like the whole card, like we'll just start off. I'll just run through them all real quick. Jamie Lynn Horth versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Phil Rowe, older name versus Ang Lusa. Ricky Simone, Charles Jourdain. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. Malcolm Wellamaker, new up and comer if I'm not mistaken, versus, hear me out, Chris Moutinho. You know that name, right?
That's the O'Malley.
Oh, Mal, he
That's
left.
the green hair
Yes,
guy.
he left the UFC, and I don't have it in front of me, but I think he went on after he left the UFC, went on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak,
Well, that does a tough something.
and then he's made his way back to fight this weekend. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. A couple of veterans there. Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. Those are all prelims.
Those two headliner the prelims are pretty nice.
Right. All right. Then the main card, you got Alonzo Menifield versus Umar Sy. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. And now, third fight, Cody Garbrandt returns against Hayoni Barcelos. You got Edmund Sabazian versus Andre Petrosky. And then Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. And then your main event, Kamara Usman versus Joaquin Buckley.
It's not a bad card.
It's not like I said, name wise, it's a pretty stacked card with like some veteran fighters that we've been watching for the past few years.
And that Usman and Buckley fight could be an absolute banger.
It's going to really tell you where Usman is. It really, like, after losing the title, is he ready? Is he fighting for a paycheck, or is he fighting to get back to a title?
Yeah.
So this is the matchup that's. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see him winning. I don't see a way for him to win this fight.
Yeah, because Buckley's he's got crazy power.
Yeah, and the story behind Usman for the past few years, he has no knees. He has no knees. He has no knees. In order for him to win a fight like this, I think he would have to take him down.
Yeah. But honestly, at this point, like, Usman was one of the most dominant champions in his run.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, does it really matter what he does anymore, Maybe he is here for a paycheck now.
Buckley opens up as a 2.5 favorite. 2.5 to 1 favorite.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. But Usman in the grappling game can get real dominant if he wants.
Yeah, but how he don't? You got to think Buckley's coming down from welterweight or middleweight. He's already a big welterweight.
Yeah.
So not only does Usman need to find the cartilage in his knees off the side of the street or something to be able to grapple Buckley, but the size of Buckley. Now he's got to be able to not only grapple him, but be able to hold somebody that big down.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't. But that's why I don't bet on fights because, yeah, you put Marab up there against Brock Lesnar and looking at him on paper, it's like, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to kill him, but Marab would end up somehow finding a way to win.
By decision.
So
he would survive.
Yeah, that's why I don't put money on fights, but I'm definitely picking. I pick Buckley to win this one.
I think he wins by knockout.
Knockout, yeah. What you got, Red?
Knockout.
Yeah. You want to talk about the co-main event? Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick?
I mean, I'm sure Rose is the favorite.
I don't know.
Yeah, Rose is nearly a 3 to 1 favorite.
Really? I want to see what she's coming off of. A loss to Blanchfield. Yeah, Maverick. Is Maverick coming off a loss to Barber? No, she's on a 4-fight win streak. Yeah, I don't know. It would not surprise me if Miranda Maverick wins this fight.
Well, Rose is kind of at the point in the career where it's like the young and up and comers, like they have to get through her to get
Yeah,
to, that's just kind of where she's at in her career now.
yeah. You want to talk about any of the other fights, or we can just leave it at that? And,
I think we're good with that.
yeah. Go ahead and try to wrap this up with 2 hours in.
Yep. I'm about to say the longest one yet. Podcast 9 making history, hitting 2 hours on the dot.
That's what happens whenever you get UFC pay-per-views.
Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up podcast 9. Let's jump to best bets of the week. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
Best bets of the week.
Say it.
All right, best bets of the week. Looks like we're on the MLB slate. So this is best bets for Monday, June 9th. I'm starting off with Chris Sale to get 6+ strikeouts. He's hit this number in 7 of his last 8 starts. And then give me Ronald Acuna, same game, over 1.5 total bases.
I'm going to take Carlos Santana for over 1.5 total bases. He's hitting 467 against Wade Miley. And also I'm going to take Freddie Freeman for over 1.5 total bases. He's hitting 333 against Nick Pivetta.
Let me get Zach Wheeler to get over 6 strikeouts. Just being honest, don't really have no stats to spit at you. He just had a newborn, so he's ready to just sling it. Then also I'm going to take Josh Lowe to get 1.5 bases versus Brian Bello. He's batting 412 with 3 extra base hits versus him, so he could possibly get that one swing of the bat.
All right, best bets, Tuesday, June 10th. Give me Ketel Marte over 1.5 total bases. He's only got 2 plate appearances against Wu, but he's 1 for 2 in those. I like him in this spot, and he's starting to finally heat up. And then give me my guy Brendan Donovan over 1.5 total bases. He's batting a 429 against Bassett.
I'm going to take Kyle Schwarber for over 1.5 total bases. He's hitting 375 against Colin Ray. And then also I'm going to take Will Benson for over 1.5 total bases. He's hitting 500 against Saucony.
I'm going to take Max Fried to get over 6 strikeouts versus the Royals. Let's be honest, the Royals have been finding struggles hitting the bat. Hopefully they won't wake up before this game. And then also I'm going to take Nathaniel Lowe to get over 1.5 bases versus Griffin Channing. He's had 2 bombs versus Canning, and could definitely get that one here.
All right. That wraps up best bets of the week and podcast number 9. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.